the show tonight, and there's a light on, heavy glow. By the way, I tried to say I'd be there, waiting for Danny the girl is singing songs to me beneath the marquee overload.
Californication, your previous album, it was the best-selling album ever you guys ever did. And so how hard was it with that in your mind to go into the studio this time?
Well, when we went in the studio, it wasn't in our mind. I mean, I think the only time that was in our mind was, the occasional update that we would get from our management company. And, it's very exciting to watch your record stay on the charts. And, every now and again you get these plaques that have a lot of records on them. And, that was great because we really believed in that record, and it was when John came back, and so it was kind of a whole rebirth for us, and for the world to be so into it was a great honor, and it just made the whole thing more exciting for us. But fortunately, when we get to the business of rehearsing and writing new stuff, that stays outside, and when we close the door and start playing music, that's the last thing in the world we're thinking about. And I don't know, I think we have a lot of confidence and we believe in ourselves, and the songwriting process for us has become really natural, and we weren't trying to recreate that, we were just trying to do something completely new.
Fly away on my cell phone, I feel it more than ever.
What do you think is the biggest or the main difference between the previous album and the new one?
Well, I said this before, since I'm doing interviews all day today, so if you see me on 2 different channels saying the same thing, don't hold that against me. It's kind of like, you have a little brother?
No, I have an older sister.
Okay, do you have a niece or a nephew?
I do, yeah.
All right, so you see this kid when he's like 8 years old, and you're like, wow, what a beautiful kid. This guy's like, he's into skateboarding, and he's like, taking a liking to certain art forms. And then you see him 3 years later, and he's 11, and he's still this like really beautiful kid, but now he's into girls and something else. That's kind of how I feel about the progression. It's like, it's the same kid, but he's just into something different now. This record is a continuation, but the only connection is the fact that it's the same little animal, but he's just into different things now.
Well, I love the tears I drop to be part of the wave. Can't stop, ever wonder if it's all for you.
I saw the cover for the new album.
Yes.
And I was wondering if I would have to guess who has chosen the cover. I would have guessed that John chose it, because it sort of reminds me of Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Right.
It sort of has that same dark edge around it.
Right.
But I don't know, it's just a thought.
It's my favorite cover that we've ever had.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it's painted by Julian Schnabel, oddly enough, who was a contemporary of Jean-Michel Basquiat, but obviously still alive. And John is in love with his daughter, Stella. And so Julian, he's a very renowned artist, he's making good movies now, kind of insisted on doing our cover for us. When he started hearing some of the music we were writing, and he said, I'm gonna do your cover for you. We were like, okay. He's like, if you don't like it, you don't have to use it, but I'll do it for you, and I'll do all the pictures, and I'll do all the graphics, and I'll take care of the whole package for you. We're like, all right, you go ahead. And he started providing us with these images, and they were just off the hook. We couldn't believe what beautiful stuff he was giving us for the artwork side of the packaging. And that's it. That's what we're going with.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. I can't tell it, but keep it up.
Is touring a lot different now than, let's say, back 6-7 years ago? Because I also noticed in your tour schedule that now you're taking days off. Does that have a special reason, or do you just want to ease down a bit?
Well, I think I was the first one that really started putting the foot down on the days off.
Really?
Just because I just need the time off. And I've had discussions with other people who really don't, like Mike Watt, who will tour Like I think he's doing a tour he just started right now where he does 61 cities in 62 days.
Oh my God.
And also Ian MacKaye from Fugazi says the same thing, that they prefer it not resting because to them, if they have time to rest, that's when they get tired because they lose their momentum.
Oh, yeah.
But for me personally, I like to spend entire days lying in bed staring and count the wall. You know?
So how hard is that on both of you to be on tour with a band? I mean,
It's different for both of us.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I use the opportunity, the days off and the time that there is on tour, the time that you're not on stage to practice guitar and to listen to music, from the time I wake up until the time I go to sleep. It's just nonstop listening to CDs and I also, if I'm in Europe, I go to museums and I go shopping for CDs. This time I'll probably do more shopping for vinyl records because I have so many CDs.
Standing in line to see the show tonight, and there's a light on, heavy glow. By the way, I tried to say I'd be there, waiting for.
what is your the ultimate funniest Spinal Tap moment that ever happened on tour?
Something that always comes to mind for me as being a funny anecdote is a long time ago we were on tour in a van, we were traveling in a van, and we had these jugs, empty like milk jugs that we would use to urinate in. And see, this isn't funny at all because it involves someone going through a real moment of displeasure, But we were sitting, we filled up all these bottles with urine and they were in the van and we stopped, we were in some parking lot after the gig and all these bottles of pee around. Some guy company was being really like, you guys think you're so good because you're from Hollywood and, yeah, man. He was just being really obnoxious and we're just like sitting there smoking a joint, after the show out in the parking lot. And this guy comes up and he's like, what's in the jug? You guys think, you're not even gonna share. And we're like, no, you can have some, man, And he just like, it was like straight, 5 different guys, week-old urine, like Bob Forrest's urine. And that was I just remember rolling on the floor in hysterics for like an hour. But, I guess it is still kind of funny.
Standing in line to see the show tonight, and there's a light on, heavy glow. By the way, I tried to say I'd be there, waiting for.
This is the Music Factory.